Almost 2 weeks into the new year, and already people are dropping like flies with their New Year's resolutions. Is that because they're lazy? Is that because they're not fit for success? Or is it because the way they're going about it doesn't work? Well, we're going to be talking about that and more on this edition of the Weekly Momentum Shift. What's up, my friends? JT DeBolt with you today. I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time it is for you, no matter where you might be tuning in from on the Big Blue Marble, thanks for joining me here for the Weekly Momentum Shift, your weekly kick in the ass to help you achieve more and succeed better in all of your missions in business and life. And that is exactly what we're talking about. You see, here we are, very first part of the second week of the new year. Statistically speaking, most people have already broken their New Year's resolutions. In fact, statistically speaking, 92% of people who set goals, especially SMART goals, which by the way aren't very smart, will fail at those as well, typically within the first 2 to 3 weeks. There's a lot of research and a lot of study done on this, and there's a lot of ideas behind what causes people to fail, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about what's causing people to fail. Let's talk about what helps people win, what helps people succeed, and that's what I'm here to talk to you today about. New Year's resolutions typically don't work because they fail at a rate of over 90%, is because most people lack two things: the clarity and the commitment. Clarity and commitment. So if you're not super clear on what it is you want and the purpose behind it, guess what? You're not going to stick with it. A lot of times people are like, I want to be a better person, or I want to be more fit, more healthy, I want to drink more water, whatever it is. And all of those things are great, except that they're super general, they're very nebulous, they don't have a whole lot of concrete, sort of purpose to them. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you just know that New Year's resolutions typically are going to fail. So if they fail, that doesn't mean you failed, it just means that the method doesn't work. If we look at goal setting, traditional goal setting, SMART goals, specific, measurable, all that kind of crap, actionable, realistic, and time-driven, that methodology is super ineffective as well. A lot of studies show that they fail at about the rate of 92%. And here's what's interesting about SMART goals failing at 92%. You're like, well, okay, so 8% of the people win. Well, of that 8%, 60% of that 8%, which is, if you do the math, comes out to about 5% of the entire whole. 5% of people who set SMART goals actually succeed and are happy with the result. Can you imagine working your ass off to get something and then showing up and not being happy with the result? That would just be mind-blowing. So, how do we fix all of this? How do we actually get better results in the new year? Stop setting New Year's resolutions and stop setting goals. Do this instead. Number one, make it your mission. Now, when I flew aircraft in the United States Navy, we never just set out with the goal of going flying. We had a mission. A mission has a specific target, has a very specific beginning and end time to it, and more importantly, it has a strategy for how to achieve it, for how to execute it. The whole point to you succeeding this year is to stop approaching your goals as goals and start seeing them as a mission, a must-have, an absolute must-win. When you have that level of conviction to it, you have a higher level of commitment. In order for you to have the conviction and therefore have the commitment for it, or vice versa, you have to have clarity. The 3 C's of success are clarity, conviction, and commitment. So the more clear you are on what you want, the more clear you are on where you're starting from relative to what you want, and the more specific you are about the actions that are required to follow through on that goal or that result that you want, the higher the probability of you succeeding. Stop setting results, stop setting resolutions, and start setting it as your mission. Instead of focusing on the result, focus on the follow-through, focus on the action plan that's required. And if you need help with that, reach out, find a mentor, find somebody who can help guide you through that process. There is no sin in asking for help. In fact, true drivens, you know what I'm talking about, because I talk to you guys about this all the time. For those of you who are out there going after the big things in life, your big missions, your big things, the big purpose in life, you know that there's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of getting your ass kicked, a lot of falling down, getting force-fed the sidewalk, and that means you have to have the strength to be able to push yourself back up when the setback happens. We'll talk more about that in a future episode of the Weekly Momentum Shift. But for right now, what I want you focusing on is this. Whatever it is you really truly want to achieve this year, do not set it as a resolution and do not set it as a goal. Instead, make it your mission. Make it a must. Find out what's important about it, what you need to succeed with that, and get very, very crystal clear on what it is. I don't want to hear you say, I want to lose weight. I want to know how much weight you want to lose. I don't want to hear you talking about, I want to make more money. I want to make this a big win. I'm going to kick ass this year. All of that's fluff and hype. The better question is, what specifically is it you are willing to get after and commit to? What are you willing to sacrifice everything for in order to succeed this year? When you can get clear on that, then you can start building the roadmap to get there. But the biggest thing is knowing what you want, knowing where you are where you are relative to that goal, that starting point, and then starting to build that action plan to getting there. That's how you build a mission. So stay tuned. We'll be talking more about that in the following weeks here on the Weekly Momentum Shift. And make sure that you're staying tuned for new episodes of the True Driven Podcast coming at you very soon. And remember, no matter what course you fly in life, fly high, fly fast, fly far, stay driven.